Hey, it's Don, the Auction Professor here. I haven't done a What Sold on eBay video in a little while, so I thought I would show you some items today. Let's hop over there right now and look at some. Okay, so here we are with the first item. Now, I showed this in a haul just literally maybe 3-4 weeks ago or so. I paid $1 for this one right here. I sold it for $57.50 within, say, 2 days of me listing it. The Marx Brothers is somebody who you should know who they are. Groucho Marx is in the middle with the mustache. You should recognize him if nobody else in the picture. So there were originally 4 of them as well. Zeppo was another one of the Marx if you weren't aware of that. So anyway, let's go on to the next one here. Now the next one here is a 1940s or 50s Cunard White Star Line luggage label, basically. Cunard was a separate company, as obviously was White Star. The Titanic was a White Star Line ship. So anyway, I did sell this for $34.50 because of that tie-in. The Queen Mary was a Cunard ship as well too. So nice example here. It's a larger one, more so than most of the ones I do see, as you can see there. It's over 6 inches. So. Now, this item here is one of my favorite items that I sold in the past week or so. I had 3 Hong Kong cards like this. I showed them in another haul video as well. They averaged just around $400 a piece for each one of those cards. So basically, I made $1,200 from one purchaser for 3 postcards. So that was probably a better deal, probably one of my better days on postcards. So, because we sold a bunch more besides these. But this is a Hong Kong city scene, which are what you are looking for. This is a perfect example. Now, it's not just Hong Kong. Mainland China cards go for horrendous amounts of money, even higher than most of the Hong Kong ones that I personally find. We have sold some in the 1,000+ range in China cards. Now, mainland China ones. There's less mainland China postcards of town scenes like this than there are of Hong Kong scenes. Peking would be another example of one that you would probably find a few more that wouldn't be quite as high, again, as inland China, mainland China images. So either way, Hong Kong is the bomb. I always look for it. I love the image. This kind of reminds me of a scene out of like Blade Runner or something like that. Love it. This is just a perfect example. I actually saved a copy of the image for my own personal use as well. Really nice one. These city street scenes like this of just everyday life from 1920s and 30s are what you want. So real good sale on this one here. Now, if you look this one up too, one of these exact same ones are darn close to it, sold just around $150. I upped mine way more because I know what these cards go for religiously. I always sell these for good money. $375 to say $400 is what I got for the 3 cards I did sell, as I said. Next one here is the American Magazine from 1944. It has a Nero Wolfe novel inside. That is what this one sold for. Nero Wolfe is a writer who wrote a lot of murder mysteries. Nero Wolfe Mysteries was a TV series as well. I would recommend looking into Nero Wolfe if you don't know who that is. We've sold tons of books by him as well. They always go for good money if they're originals. But this is a nice cover, military-style cover, eagle, the whole works. I sold it for $35+ shipping on this one. It was up for a little while. I'm not too worried. I paid $1 for it. Again, I throw up high prices. Sometimes they sell for the high prices. Sometimes you take an offer. Either way, it was a very nice sale for me. Next one here is a real photo postcard, real picture postcard. I had several of these. For some reason, it didn't get the RPPC in the title. Either way, they went up for $57.50. This one sold. I sold another one, $57.50. Another one, $57.50. And then we're into a few books here. Now, this book was up for over a year. I took $35+ shipping on it. It's a $1 purchase. It's no big deal that it's set up for a year. We're talking pennies to list this thing for a year. I made a great return on my investment on this one either way. Next one's another book. This is the dedication to Chickamauga and Chattanooga Battlefield Military Park. This book was printed in 1895. I took $37.50 on this one here. Average, they sell $15 to $20. No big deal. Again, I priced them high. Most people do not research these before they buy this kind of stuff. I've run into that constantly. So you can price higher than most people. record-wise. Here's a Terry Day. I sold this one for $45. I do go into some detail in my Patreon video, so for those in Patreon, you've seen this one as well as some of the other records before that I was talking about in a recent video as well. So again, $45 on this one. I spent 25 cents to purchase this one. It was up for about 6 months. No big deal. Again, $45 is pretty good. It's right in the dead center. Next one here is Slapstick. Now this is a 2/400 reel 8mm film. The key on these ones is the magnetic sound always sells for more than anything else. So if you see magnetic sound on it, you can afford to spend more money on it. Now here's a postcard, and I actually showed this, and I actually talked about how to improve the quality of the cards and zoom in and the whole works. This is one that I updated the image on and ended up selling it for $35 within, say, a week or two of updating the actual image. So updating and fixing images from old listings does help. So if something's stagnant, I will sometimes go back and fix the images, change the title, and basically address the issues then. That almost always fixes the issue, and it does sell fairly quick after we do that. As long as it's a good item, of course. This is one of the ones I sent an offer out to, $57.50 this one went for. No big deal. I have 2 or 3 more of this exact same one. I bought a huge bulk lot of these. So good sale on my behalf. Now the next one here has some damage to it. Something got stuck. Somebody got tape on it or something. The reason this one sold for a decent money, and I took $60 on this damaged, dingy looking card, is because it's from Dakota Territory. Any of these early items that you see, whatever it is, mail, postal covers, anything that has a territory on it, it's usually worth more money than anything else. Territory ones are well collected, like Indian Territory goes in extremely well. Oregon Territory, Arizona Territory, any of those. And I've got some Arizona Territory right now that I will be putting up, and I might show you these as they sell. Just because territory items in general, whatever they are, even in damaged condition, will still sell. So, and this is Fort Meade. There actually was a fort there. So, interesting one in my opinion. Now, this is another one that I showed in a haul not too long ago. $37.50 it sold for. It was up for about a day and a half. I didn't pay much for this one. Usually these foreign ones I can get for less than $1 because foreign ones in general don't sell very well. Some of these Bangkok and Siam area, Thailand, do sell depending on the scenes, obviously. This is actually 2 cards from the same basic area. So, and you can see it's actually written in Taiwanese on the back as well. So. Next one here is a Edison disc. Now these are the thick Edison discs. This is an early Jazz 78. I think I sent an offer. I took $75 on this one. It wasn't up for a super long time, but still, I'm fine with $75 on it. I've looked into these prices on everything that I sell. Let's say I get an offer and it's been up for a year. I check to see what the current value, what they're selling for right now before I accept any offer like that. So, FYI, look them up if they've been up for a little while. Prices change all the time. Could be worth more, it could be worth less. So you could turn out an offer thinking it's not, it's too low, and realize that, hey, the price dropped. 100 of these things showed up online. That happens. So, now here's a dog tag. I took 20 on this one. These are something you can pick up for like a quarter. Usually these would have been riveted to the actual dog collar too, so you can see the holes for mounting it. Most of these early brass ones do go for some decent money. I paid a quarter or something for this piece here. Some of them are in shapes of animals and buildings and fire hydrants and things. Those sell extremely well also. Next item is a GAR. Now this is a Women's Relief Corps. This is a GAR establishment as well. Grand Army of the Republic. This is from 1883. They kind of took care of functions and was part of a branch, I guess you could call it, of the GAR, Grand Army of the Republic. I purchased a ton of these at one point, and I'm just whittling them down. I have others that I haven't listed yet, just because I don't want to flood the market. It takes time to sell some of these. They're not super quick movers. This was up for like 4 months. But again, $37.50, I'm perfectly fine with that. I have nothing into this at this point. We sold a bunch of them to start with, got all of our money back and made a profit, and then these are just trickling out from that point on. Now here is an engraved label. Now we took 90 on this one here, I believe. It's a paper label from a known company. Hamilton Prints made textiles with patterns and imagery on it. So the label is well collected. Now I believe this one and another label actually went to I think a museum, if I'm not mistaken, a collectibles and fabric linen museum. I do sell to quite a few museums doing this sort of thing, just FYI. And this person spent like $170 on 2 labels from us too. Next one's another one of those spoons, $14.99, Spanish-American War, Manila. Remember the Maine, which was the battle cry, I guess you could say, from the war. The Maine was sunk in Havana Harbor, I believe it was, and that started the whole war, actually. $14.99. These are something I paid $1 for. I've sold like 12 of these exact same spoons. I just list a few more once some of them are gone. That's all I have to do, and they always go. Usually 10 to say 15 bucks. Usually they sell like 10 to 15 bucks on average. You'll see a bunch of people that list them for like 6 to 8 bucks, and that's all they sell them for. I doubled that. Don't worry about what the other ones sell for in some of these old vintage categories like this. It's a well-collected item. Now here's a country bopper. This is Tex Ritter. $27.50 is what it sold for. It's a promo as well. And here's another one of the labels here. Now, this is a known, majorly known company. Cocheco, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but Cocheco Mills is a well-collected one. It was one of the first ones to do a certain quality of material. And this is a label, again, just like the other one I showed you, that would have been pinned onto the fabric. And that way you'd have known how much fabric. They usually put a price on it, as you see here, 8 cents. That would have been per yard back then, and this was expensive back then. Now, this label here was patented in 1866, which is about when this label was actually printed. So between the 2 labels, you know, like 170, 180, I think is what we took out of these 2. I'm happy with that. I don't have much into them. This is from a quilter's collection. This came from a quilter, just FYI. If you want to know where I find some of this stuff, a quilter's estate sale is where this piece and the other one came from. So anyway, now here's just a Santa Claus postcard. It did go for $18.50. Most of these kind aren't worth a ton of money, in all honesty. So just because it's Santa Claus, don't think that it's worth a ton of money. What also helped this is that it's got a 1909 American Red Cross Christmas seal stamp on it that was canceled. The stamp isn't postage. It's a Cinderella. It's a fantasy piece. But it was canceled because of its location on there. So that's rather interesting, and that did help sell this, in my opinion. It's not listed in the title, but I am very confident that that's what helped sell this. It's an added little bonus. It should have been in the title. Unfortunately, it was missed. $18.50 either way. I'm very fine with that. Now, the next one here, when Disneyland first opened up, this is an early, like 55, 56, when Disney first opened. In 1955, 56, Disney's hotel, the one that they actually owned, only had like 7 rooms. You know, so they relied on hotels like this for people to stay. Even in the condition, it's got some condition issues, which are stated. You can see some loss. It's a scarce card. If it was in better condition, this card would have probably went for, say, 40-ish bucks. Most of these early Disney-related ones do sell. And all it has is the word Disneyland on there. It's from Anaheim. On the back, they actually have a little more information. Knott's Berry Farm was more established at this point than Disney, in all honesty. It had been around for a lot longer. There's a ghost town there and things like that. So anyway, it was a good sale. I took 20 bucks on this one because of the condition. This is another one of those that I sent the offer to. I did that in another video a couple videos ago, so if you want to see that, literally we made like $700 in just over an hour time by sending out some offers. But that's what I have for you today. Well, there you go. Hopefully that gave you some ideas. Hopefully that gave you some thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell a friend.